Hello and welcome in. We are live. We are chatting, so we must be live chatting for this week's Houston Open, or really anything else that you want to talk about. We're just a couple of weeks away from the Masters. There is a European Tour event this week. There's a Senior Tour event this week. We can chat about literally anything that you want. This time is yours. Get your questions, your concerns, your comments in the chat right now. Before we get started, I've got a couple of things that I always do, and just a mind-blowing announcement of something that I can't believe I'm going to say. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Let's look at the weather forecast in Houston for this week, and looks a little wet. Yeah, look at that. Showers throughout Thursday. It's a lot of rain, nearly an inch of precipitation, and then you get thunderstorms on Friday. Maybe not as much rain, but the winds throughout anywhere from 10 to 15 up to 18 miles an hour. This is kind of interesting because the way that this forecast is running right now is that the rain doesn't really get going. And, who knows, 50% chance of rain. Who knows how much is actually there until Thursday afternoon. But then once it starts, it doesn't stop for a while. So they're almost certainly going to play preferred lies on Friday, right? But would they preemptively do that on Thursday as well? Because you don't want guys, tee times being affected, right? And then once the round starts, you can't really stop it. So there's a chance they just start with preferred lies. Now, I don't know if the thunderstorms are going to stop play, if they think there are going to be delays. It would be safer to play ball in hand right out of the gate. I mean, that's not what I would do. I would say, screw it. You've got to play the ball as it lies no matter what. We're never playing preferred lies, but that's not me. That's not the tour. I think they might. We'll keep an eye on it. But if they do go preferred lies, we probably won't find out until 45 minutes before the start of round one on Thursday morning. And it would benefit those, obviously, who hit more fairways because they're going to be able to pick up their ball, clean it, and put it down. It would allow for a better approach lies and things of that nature. So it'll be interesting to see. That's the way that I see this. I'm not sure there is going to be a specific wave advantage, especially because with thunderstorms and with rain and collecting rain, there might be delays, right? And the wind throughout is pretty nasty. I mean, maybe Thursday morning, but would be really hard to put a little bit of an emphasis on that. Here are the site-wide selections for one and done from officefootballpool.com. I had to get creative to pull these this week. They're merging everything from Run Your Pool and Office Football Pool over to Splash Sports, and it's getting harder to get. I'm wondering if these are going to go away at some point, but Aaron Rye is currently the most selected one and done option at 30%, Tony Finau at 20%, nobody else in single digits. JJ Spawn 8.2, Thomas Dietrich 5.6, everybody else 4% and below. Aaron Rye's fine, but Aaron Rye's odds for this week are the same as Minwoo Lee's, the same as Steven Yeager's, the same as Thomas Dietrich's and Wyndham Clark's, and they're all 1/8 of the selection rate that Aaron Rye is right now. So kind of hard to play Aaron Rye unless you're really out in front and you love him for this week. If you are a little bit up in the air, probably no reason to play Aaron Rye considering everything else that's going on. And I like Aaron Rye this week, but I'm talking about from a game theory standpoint. I have not decided yet, but I will probably be spreading it out. A little bit of Steven Yeager, a little bit of Thomas Dietrich, maybe a little bit of Michael Kim, and who knows. I'll be pretty creative this week, throwing it around to just about everyone. Now, here's the announcement and things that I never thought I would say. So first off, things that I say every week, the tiers contest, the listener league on Splash Sports right now is closing in on 50% full. This will fill very quickly. We are crushing these. We are filling them very, very quickly. $15,000 guaranteed on your $20 entry with a little bit of a different payout structure. 100 out of 834 are going to get paid a flat payout at the top. So you see, first is 1,900, second is 1,500, third is 1,100, and then there's kind of a gap. Fourth, fifth, and sixth are pretty close. So that it's a little bit of a different payout structure. I think I like it. Kind of testing that out for this week. We'll see what's happening. Now, here's the thing that I thought that I would never see or really ever say. But if you would like to play a round of golf with John Daly and myself, that is now available to you. I know that is crazy talk, but I knew this was in the works. Obviously, I did not realize that this launched, I think, last night, but it is now live on Splash Sports. So it is a tiers contest for the Masters, $100 entry. You're going to pick you're going to pick from 8 tiers, one golfer from 8 tiers, and your top 7 will count. That is with a payout structure of $100,000 to first, a $350,000 guaranteed payout, all that fun stuff. Here's the thing. It does not matter what your position is in this contest. As for every lineup that you put in, that is an entry into this drawing is really what it is. So you don't have to pick a good team to win around with JD and I. You can just play. That gives you the entry. So we're going to play around somewhere in the world, presumably in the United States. I do not know where it is yet. Hopefully somewhere very nice. I'm going to push it like, let's get out there to somewhere really nice. I don't know. You'll get a travel stipend, which includes, that you can spend on hotel and airfare. You will play a round of golf with John and I somewhere. And I don't know what else is going to happen. Are we going to shotgun Diet Cokes? I don't know. Sure, maybe. Are we going to head straight to the casino in our flip-flops afterwards? Hopefully. I don't know. Probably not. But I just have generally no idea what is going to happen. And this is bonkers. When this was presented, I thought it was incredible. I still think it is incredible. It's nuts. There's a link in the description for this. John is also, so when I'm down at Augusta, John always does he basically is at the Hooters in Augusta all week, and he signs a lot of stuff and he parks in the, all that stuff. So going to meet with him on, I think probably Monday or Tuesday when I get down there. This should be a blast. I have no idea how I got involved in this, but it should be a ton of fun. Just look at the graphic. Like, this is an absolute maniacal graphic that they put together for this. Just like completely normal. John Daly, Rick Gehman. That's bonkers. All right, let's get to this here for this week. Do I have anything else? No, I don't think so. Okay. Brian says, will you be at the Women's Amateur at Augusta next Saturday? Also, thanks for all the info. No, I'm leaving. So Sunday night red eye into Augusta, Georgia on Monday morning. So credentialed, getting to the airport. I mean, it's like a 2-hour drive from Atlanta, I think. So got to do all that stuff. Hoping to get to Augusta National at some point on Monday. And then I'll be there all week. Who are the best par 3 scorers in this field? And also, is Ryan Fox an okay click in the gross 6K range this week? All right, let's jump in. Basically, from here on out, it's my website, rickrungood.com, that I will be showing you. You should sign up for it because I really like it. And I think you will like it too. Let's do this. You can do this a couple different ways. I'm just going to go to strokes gained par 3. I'm going to put all my weights on there. I see that Nico Echeverria. I see that Matt McCarty. I see Maverick McNeely. I see Michael Thorpe Bjornsson and Scotty Scheffler. These are, remember, this is strokes gained par 3. So this is not scoring average, which is something you might see on the PGA Tour's website. I actually take the difficulty for every single one of these holes. And then, if the difficulty is 3.2 or 2.9 or whatever it is, this is the strokes gained for the par 3s. And then is Ryan Fox an okay click in the gross $6,000 range? The $6,000 range is very ugly. I think Patrick Fishburne is very good for like 1 single round, maybe 2. I think that Kevin Roy, Michael Thorpe Bjornsson are okay. I think that Mac Meisner is probably my favorite. Let's look at Ryan Fox here and see what he's been up to. Foxy's $6,900. He is pretty stout in the short game categories for somebody who is as long and arduous. No, I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. Powerful as he is. I don't like that he's been losing strokes off the tee. I would prefer him to try to not bomb and gouge this place, considering the fact that the Bermuda is a little bit unpredictable. You have to be pretty good on approach. And then if you are going to get the advantage of picking your ball up and cleaning it and putting it back in play, fairways would be better. So yeah, I mean, Ryan Fox is like, all things considered, I do not think he's that great of a play. Comparing him to other guys in the 6K range, maybe he's like the 8th or 9th best player in this range. There's 70 golfers, so that's pretty good for the 6K range, but they're all pretty ugly. Hey, Rick, who would you leave on your fantasy bench between Sungjae, Grazerman, and Highsmith? Woof. Well, I'm playing Highsmith for sure. I'm probably playing Sungjae as well. I like Max Grazerman. The problem is I like those guys better for here. So Grazerman has really struggled with the driver recently. And if you go back to when he was flushing it, when he was putting together all those great results, it was driver, putter, driver, putter, driver, putter. We have lost the driver. We still have the putter. And the rest of his game hasn't made up for those regressions. So that being said, you're going to give me access to Sungjae Im, who has admittedly been miserable, especially on the second shot, but he has an unbelievable set of hands. He can putt well. His pedigree is much, much better. And then you get Joe Highsmith, who's quite honestly been one of the best players in 2025. He bounces back after the sour, Bay Hill, Arnold Palmer Invitational, where of course, he misses the cut after his win at Cognizant, and he's right back to popping into the top 25 again. So I'm absolutely rolling with Sungjae and Highsmith there. I think it's Highsmith, then Sungjae, then Grazerman. Davis Thompson, Tony Finau, or Min Woo Lee for this week. Good question, Ben. If you are a believer in course history, then this is the week for Tony Finau. I worry about a lot of things that are going on with Tony right now. I worry about the approach play. I worry that the putter is not good enough. I worry that he's even lost 5 strokes around the green in his last 6 measured rounds. But his history at Houston is probably unmatched. Minwoo Lee is a little bit interesting, maybe a lot more. I don't know. He's interesting because the thing that Minwoo does the worst is probably what he does the worst is statistically least correlated or less correlated to success at this golf course than a lot of other golf courses. I'm talking about strokes gained approach. This is a golf course that has statistically been better for short game players. That's what Minwoo has turned out to be. Very, very magical around the greens. Very good putter. The approach play has been better, but it is the one thing that he struggles at. So I think there's an opportunity that this place allows him to lean into his strengths and hides his weaknesses just a little bit. Davis Thompson, the really good tee to green stuff and has kind of cooled off as of late. I don't think I need to go there. So I would do Minwoo. If you are a really, really passionate course history guy, then go with Tony Finau, but I'm going with Minwoo. ZZ Jolt, who's a member of the YouTube channel, thank you, says, hi, I know you know your business, which I surely don't, but I wish you, Mark, Greg, and Patrick would start your own podcast, charge for it. People will flock to you. Just do it. So this is in regards to CBS Sports retiring the First Cut podcast, a podcast that we recorded 1,500 plus episodes of in the last 5 or 6 years. It's a consideration, ZZ. I would love to. I don't know how many of you there are, right? If there are 1,000 of you who would pay for it, I think we'd do it. I don't know if that's true or not. Let's do a poll. So Armina can put a poll together. So say something like, would you pay for the First Cut podcast? Let's call it $10 a month. Assume 3 to 4 episodes a week. So would you pay like 80 cents an episode? If you would, maybe it's possible. I know those guys miss it. I get the emails and comments all the time. I know people are missing it. Last week would have been a very good week to do it. The Masters would have been a very good week. It's going to be a very good week. It's great chopping up with those guys. I don't get to talk about them as much anymore. I would love a path to bring it back. Which tantrum did you like best last week? The Kazire kick, the Sahith throw, the Gala throw, or the sprinkler smasher Hadwin? So I don't know what has gotten into these guys. I hate to be like a Debbie Downer, boomer, whatever, but like all of those actions were idiotic. And if you say, oh, wow, they're just like us, it's nice to see some emotion. If they're just like us and you're doing this stuff on the golf course, rethink your actions. Okay. None of them are acceptable by any stretch of the imagination. The punt, first off, if I were the commissioner, if you are ever putting anybody else in danger of a fan, a volunteer, a fellow player, damaging the golf course, you would be severely punished for that. Okay. The Kazire kick was nuts. Not only does you have no idea where that thing is going, you look like a baby and you are damaging the golf course and potentially hurting somebody. Sahith's throw was ugly. He did it not really towards anybody, but you don't know where it bounces. The Hadwin smash, I don't know if he knew there was a sprinkler head there. He was immediately regretful. That one to me is a freak accident, still kind of childlike, but a freak accident. None of these are acceptable, and I would come down with an iron fist if I were the commissioner, and I'm not even like that much of a boomer, or really at all. Garrett says, only real sickos would ask about Kaito Onoshi. Let's see what we have on Kaito. Says, seems like a short game specialist and just barely missing cuts. Is he worth a flyer at the flat 6K? Let's see what information we have on Kaito Onoshi. I'm going to, almost guarantee that when we look at the flat 6K range, he's probably better than those guys there. We're talking about Jimmy Walker. We're talking about Ryan Palmer, Rafael Campos. These are F1 driver Carlos Sainz. These are not necessarily the best of the best. So let's look at Kaito. Looks good in his Adidas gear. How about that? Yeah. I've got a handful of starts on him. He made the cut at the Valspar. He finished T42. He put together a pretty darn good ball striking week. Lost strokes around the green in 3 out of 4, but was good on Friday, and then was 50-50 putted to about a 0. All things considered, he just played the most recent PGA Tour event, made the cut, and put together a pretty good stat profile. Like, I've already seen enough. I don't even know if I need to go back and look any farther, but that is all good stuff there. He had missed 5 cuts in a row previously. Yeah, a couple of them were close, within a shot or two of finding the weekend. The stat profile that he did put together at Valspar is completely different than anything else that he's put together. So was that the outlier, or did he figure something out? Because he was hemorrhaging strokes in the ball striking categories. Was a decent putter though. I love that he comes from the Korn Ferry Tour, right? He won an event on the Korn Ferry Tour last year. So it's not like he's coming. Sometimes you get the min 6K guys who are coming from overseas or coming from a different tour. I mean, he's been in the PGA Tour ecosystem. So Garrett, I give a hat tip to you, a golf clap. I think that is a pretty good call for a flat $6,000. Rick, congrats on Hovland. Yeah, I didn't do anything, but I'm happy for him. Better early than late. Oh yes, I know. I've been dancing around the Victor, playing him in DFS. I've been betting him significantly in top 10 markets. And then the 1 week where I'm like, oh boy, this is pretty ugly. He goes out and wins the golf tournament. Can you run a model, please? Last 24. Yeah. So let's do it. So I'm very zoomed in here so that you guys can see, but we're going to do the last 24 rounds, 25. Okay. So 25 on par threes over 200 yards. That's possible. I'm assuming that's 25 on par 5 scoring. I'll do par 5 strokes gained. Approach from 200 to 250 and around the green. Okay, so around the green, 25. And then I'm assuming that last 25. Okay, approach from, here we go. This is Chris's model. Pearson Cootie, Jacob Bridgman, Minwoo Lee, Rory McIlroy, Davis Thompson, Michael Kim, JJ Spawn, Siwoo Kim, Alex Smalley, Hayden Springer. Thanks for tuning in, Chris. I know Toasty hasn't been good. However, he got second last year. Is he a decent pay down option? I believe that Alejandro Toasty is the most difficult golfer in the world to handicap. I also think, and I'm not sure this is an exaggeration, I could pull this up. I think he might be the most volatile golfer on the PGA Tour because he is, I mean, T4, missed cut, 58th, cut, 10th, 68th, cut. Like, look at the stat profiles. He usually drives it well. He hasn't done that in 3 out of 4 measured, and he probably didn't do it very well in Puerto Rico either. The putter, horrible. I don't really, I mean, I don't care that he finished second last year. It's just, that is not a good enough reason for me. I find him to be incredibly hard to handicap. I will be out on Toasty. The guy that I like better in that range is probably Mac Meister. Favorite club in your bag right now? Well, the 9 holes that I played this morning, I drove it pretty well. I'm okay with that. Yeah, driver has been okay. Hit a lot better wedge shots recently. Yeah, but most days it's probably like an 8-iron. For the guys who've never played here before, what courses can we look at? Oh, past performances that are most similar to Memorial Park. Yeah, so you want to look at courses that have, I mean, you heard, I don't know if you heard it, but like Tony Finau had a good quote this morning that was like, you know, Memorial Park is probably the best tune-up that you could get for Augusta National. The undulation, using the ground kind of as defense, the shave down areas around the greens. That would be courses like that. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I'd have to go through a bunch of them, but I just that Tony Finau comment sticking out of the top of my head is Augusta National. Can you do a deep dive on Celinda and Ben Griffin? Yeah, sure. So Ben Griffin, I feel like we talk about quite a bit. I feel like he is perpetually priced at $7,900. I don't know if that's true or not. It just absolutely feels like he never moves off of that. 79, 85, 89, 62. I guess he does, but it just feels like he's always 7,900. He's cooled off a little bit, right? We got that great run from him with the back-to-back fourth place finishes in Mexico and Cognizant, and then he kind of struggles from tee to green over his last three. That's concerning. So I would be cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to beat him up over a couple of recent starts. He's got a decent history around this place. I know that his skill set fits pretty well. He's like a 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10, all things considered. And then Isaiah Celinda, as far as I'm remembering, he does it in a different way. Yeah. So really good driver of the golf ball, right? I always kind of throw him, Rico Hoey into the same conversation. Really good driver of the golf ball, has lost 10 strokes on approach over the course of his last 8 rounds. That's not great. He has lost basically 10 or 11 strokes putting over the course of the last 12 rounds. That's not great. We're probably going to need the putter this week. The driver might be a little bit knocked down. So probably not a Celinda spot. I think it's probably a better course fit for Griffin. Simon says, hey, Rick, thanks for the content. Do you prefer Smalley or Dietrich? I like both of these guys a lot. I think I prefer Smalley. I think they are both mispriced. And I'll give you the quick rundown on both these guys. So Alex Smalley, priced at $8,200, is a very well-rounded player who does a lot of work in the short game categories. He's not reliant on it because he can add other things, but that is a very, very, very good profile. Has played well at more difficult golf courses, has played well at bigger events, at tougher fields. I really, really like what Alex Smalley has been up to. I haven't bet him yet. I'm running a little behind this week, quite busy, but I will click Alex Smalley's name and bet him at 55-1. Okay. So like, that's how I feel about Alex Smalley. I might actually bet Thomas Dietrich too. I might just fire like a handful of 50s and longers or something like that. Dietrich, I believe, is probably a little bit shorter than that. But Dietrich is giving us the Joe Highsmith playbook. I'm sure I mentioned this on Monday. Just the guy who wins the biggest tournament of his life, struggles for the next couple starts, and then he comes back into form. That's exactly what we're getting from Thomas Dietrich. He was in that big pack of runner-up finishers last week. I like both of these guys quite a bit. If you made me choose, I will go with Alex Smalley. Thoughts on Victor Perez for this week? Sure. My God, I read that as Fat Perez. It said Pat Perez. That is absolutely wild. My brain is cooked. Here is Victor Perez. 22nd at Valspar, 18th at Cognizant, 72nd in Mexico. Those are his last 3 starts. Really good profiles in the last 2, right? Very good tee to green numbers. The putter pops out at Valspar. Played here once. It was last year, T17. I don't know if at this point Victor Perez is capable of putting 3 really good rounds together, or 3 consecutive tournaments together, but these are pretty good. This is his best PGA Tour run. Explicitly PGA Tour run probably in a year. I like the last 2 a lot more than I like the 2 before that. Yeah, okay. You could probably sell me on Victor Perez. 7,100 is kind of a awkward spot in the pricing. So I could, if you're looking at him or Nick Dunlap or Joel Damon or Johnny Vegas, I probably prefer Victor Perez there. So the pricing helps out if you're playing him there. Rick, what do you think about buying low on Rasmus? I will not. I'm going to need to see a pulse from Rasmus at the moment. I hate when I get rid of my cheat sheet. There we go. He has just been coughing it up. And that is very, very kind to say. So last 4, minus 6.8 from tee to green, minus 7.8 from tee to green, minus 3.2, minus 5.4. Yikes. Looks like me. Nah, just kidding. I'm better than that from tee to green. Relative to my handicap. This is like blaring red flags. Like Houston, we have a problem. Boom. Got it. Okay. This is terrifying. I need to see a pulse. Rick, huge fan of your work. Thank you, Mark. And was wondering about Alex Smalley, Joe Highsmith, or Jake Knapp this week for one and done. Yeah, I probably ranked them in the order you have them, Mark. Alex Smalley, Joe Highsmith, Jake Knapp. I think Knapp is very high risk, high reward, capable of winning indeed, capable of finishing dead last for sure. Rick, could you do a deep dive on either Matteo Manassero or Antoine Rosner? Your pick. Oh boy. Interested in it as the last man in. Let's do Rosner. I feel like we haven't done Rosner in some time. God, I swear these, I don't know if it's my new monitor that I got. These images look super high def to me. Oof. I don't know what I'm looking at here for Antoine Rosner. A lot of barely above average finishes where he makes the cut and kind of struggles on the weekend and struggles on Sunday and, did the same thing again at Valspar and gets off to a hot start. Then he struggles. Oh boy. Short game's not very good. Putter's not very good. Is he outclassed? Because he plays a lot better on the DP World Tour. Is he not comfortable here yet? Has he played here before? He hasn't. That's going to be a tough click. I like the Manassero profile is going to have to be pretty ugly for me to consider Rosner over. Oh, it is pretty ugly. Yeah, he's a horrible driver of the golf ball. That's going to call. Oh God, I guess I'd go with Rosner. I'm not thrilled about either one of these guys. Is Harris English silly to use? No way he wins twice, right? Probably not. It's a good spot for him. If you think that there is a decent comp to Torrey, I guess the comp to Torrey's would be the driving, narrow fairways, unpredictable / thick rough. It would be the par being a good score. Outside of that, I don't think there's these two are anything like each other, right? You've got Torrey's got the thick rough around the greens and the Poana on the putting surfaces, and these are shaved down. Nothing else, but there are like two statistically interesting things. But yeah, it's probably a little bit silly. How worried are you about the rain? Not much. We covered that at the start. Who are the worst around the green players in the field? Oh boy. Well, go to the Holy Grail. Pick out any time frame that you want. Start of 2023. Sort by strokes gained around the green, and then flip it. Oh boy, here we go. This is going to be ugly. I'm going to leave Vince Cavello out because we only have 18 rounds on him. William Mao losing a stroke per round. Aldrich Potgieter, 3/4 of a stroke. Charles Reeder, he's only got 10 rounds. Rydell, Cohn, Ventura, Cristobal del Solar. These are guys that struggle. Of the most expensive guys, who's the first guy who's losing strokes around the green? It's Pendrith and Dietrich, but they're barely negative. The first significant loser, Knapp, Davis Riley. Good luck. So I think the plan is, and if the plan is not, I guess maybe I'll make it the plan. I think we're going to record it, the round with JD. Do I call him JD? Do I call him John? Do I call him Mr. Daly? I call him JD. You can call me RG. That'd be cool. We could have, what if we become friends? That's probably unlikely. He's like 40 years older than I am. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. But I think we should vlog it, right? And it should go on YouTube and it should like be a thing. I assume they're going to want to, I mean, Splash is probably spending a lot of money on him. Not spending anything on me. I assume they're spending a lot on him. That probably going to want to get some marketing out of that. Tony says, hey, Rick, I think it might be worth measuring tournament performance on the same week as TGL. I feel like players on the TGL just don't play as well when they have a tournament that same week. I will look into that. What else we got here? I've answered a couple of these, so I'm going to skip. Skip. That's just a comment. That is not a question. I've only followed. Oh, I know. LVL Lambertus Von Lent. I'm probably butchering that, but I see him on it. He sends me messages all the time. He's very, very cool. I only follow PGA golf for the last 3 years. What is your favorite Houston Open? Oh, the Houston Open hasn't been around. Well, it's been around a long time, but it's like current iteration and spot on the schedule really hasn't been around that long. Especially for you to go back and watch. I think last year's was probably the best, right? Jaeger beating out everybody, including Scotty. I think that's probably where it's at. Is this a giddy up for Goddard up? Well done. Let's look. Chris Goddard up. Christopher Goddard up. Chris Goddard up. I wonder what he prefers. Probably Chris. Oh boy. This is bad, man. I mean, he's losing everywhere. He's losing off the tee, which is a horrible sign. Approach is not great. Short game, horrible. No, I'm going to have to pass on that. Nick Hardy and Jason Day coming up next. Let's go Nick Hardy. $6,400. Boy, he's missed like 9 out of his last 10 cuts. He finished 64th in Puerto Rico. Pass. Give me something better on Jason Day, please. It's got to be something better on Jason Day. I know he hasn't missed 9 of his last 10 cuts. I can tell you that for free. All right, here we go. Was leaning on the putter at Bay Hill, though he did gain basically 2 strokes ball striking, but he picked up 6 with the putter. Not the worst place to go here. Very good short game historically and recently. Yeah. I could do Jason Day for sure. History here, mixed, but he's played here a lot. Couple top 10s. Yeah. Let's do Jason Day. Talk me out of Pot Eater. Well, if you think short game's going to matter, he's got one of the worst short games in the field. What's shaking, Rick? Hello, Oliver. How about your thoughts on Nick Taylor? I'm in on Nick Taylor. I think he's mispriced. We haven't seen him in a couple weeks, and nothing has changed, right? Winner earlier this year. Very good ball striker, very good putter. I think that he is just better than a lot of these guys in this field, right? Like, yeah. His 2 worst finishes are the back-to-back starts at Bay Hill and the Players. Okay, well, we're going to get something pretty different. Poseidon is looking for, these are scary hours. McCarty or Patrick Rodgers. Let's look at McCarty, because McCarty is actually capable of winning golf tournaments, and I'm not convinced Patrick Rodgers is. Yeah, okay. So remember when I was all in on Matt McCarty in December, and when I released my top 50, he was probably in it. And remember when I drafted him in like basically every single season-long fantasy league that I'm in? This is what I wanted to see. What he's done in the last 2. Players, he gains basically throughout the bag and finishes T20. Valspar gains throughout the bag, finishes T16. If you've never been here before, gaining strokes in every single category is one of the best predictors of immediate next tournament success. And he's done it basically twice in a row. He lost a tiny bit around the green at the Players, but for all intents and purposes, this is a really good sign. That is what he did for the win at the Black Desert. It's what he did a lot. We don't have the strokes gain metrics from the Korn Ferry Tour, but if you go look at his stat profiles there, he was very well rounded on the Korn Ferry Tour. Won 3 times on the Korn Ferry. Yeah, 3 times since July on the Korn Ferry. And then, of course, the win in the fall. $7,000. My goodness. Yeah, I'm in. I'm going to write his name down. Actually, I'll just click his favorite here because that will remind me that I will probably bet Matt McCarty this week. Rick, you beauty. What's the boss's outright pick of the week? That's my wife. She said earlier, I'm done making picks. They don't even make the cut anymore. She's not making a pick. Really? You're not going to make a pick? She said, I'll do Nick Taylor. Okay. So she went with Nick Taylor. Does Thigala even like golf at this point? I'm sure he does. And it's a very sick game, but not great. What is going on? Can you end the poll? Is that what you said? Sure. Oh, I didn't know you had to end it. I thought it just ran until like a. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, 60-40 no is tough. Yeah, end it. Does it pop up in the chat for me? Oh, it's in YouTube. I'm not on YouTube. Okay. Let me get back to my spot here. Where's my spot? Top of the betting board is wonky, indeed. Is this the largest margin ever between the second and third betting favorite? I think it is that I have in my database, which is 6 or 7 years. Someone pointed out to me the year in Mexico where Rom and Finau, I think, were 1 and 2, and then they finished 1 and 2. But I don't know what that third guy was. I'm gonna have to go back and look and like dig into that. But yeah, I mean, it's an unbelievable betting board, right? You've got basically the 2 best players in the world, and then the next best players like JJ Spawn or Aaron Rye or whoever else you want to dump in there. Yeah, I talked about this a little bit on Monday. So I'm willing to dip my toe very cautiously into the Davis Riley pool. I need to give him credit for gaining strokes in 4 in a row. I need to give him credit for gaining strokes on approach in 4 in a row. I need to give him credit for being good enough with the short game in 5 out of 6 and 3 out of 3 putting and around the green, respectively. I also need to acknowledge that his T6 in Puerto Rico is the one event that we don't have the shot link data on. So those are probably good metrics too, right? He probably hit it well, probably putted well, to finish T6. So I'm assuming that this would look even better. That is significantly better than the way he's been playing in the last year. So I'm cautiously, because I think he can burn us at any second, cautiously dipping my toe into the Davis Riley pool. I would say, Justin, just a touch. Are we weighing accuracy more heavily because of the rain and preferred lies? I think just a little bit. Bring the producer to Hooters. And then it's an emoji. It doesn't pop up, but it says popcorn, yellow striped smile, which is like, do you want to come? You are the producer. I mean, you probably should, like, she should come, right? Like, it's her job. She should come. She said, maybe she's not coming. She doesn't want to go to Augusta. So Oliver, the answer is no. So at the end of the show last week, and actually it's been on the it's the new end screen. There, I've got a thank you page up there for the members of the YouTube channel and a patron, a Rick Run Good patron ticket badge, and there's a number on there, and nobody has figured it out yet. What that number means. There's been a lot of very creative guesses. No, it was not the number of YouTube subscribers. No, it is not a date. There was a couple people who got close. So it is. So it correlates to a person, okay, a player, and it is database related. So somebody's like, basically those 2 parts have been guessed. Oh, is it something in your database? Yeah, the answer is yes. And it does correlate to a specific person. I will tell you what, if we get to the end of the show and nobody has guessed it in the chat, I will reveal it. How about that? And we'll go from there. I'm getting crushed in the PGA fantasy. There's going to be a lot of people in line for $500. I'll look up Sami Valimaki. It says keeps popping up for me. Oh, keeps popping up on the leaderboards. Okay, yes, that I have noticed. I thought Vincent was saying he keeps popping up in the models, and I was like, what models are you running? But no, yes, agreed. Look at it. I mean, he starts off with 5.5 strokes gained at the Valspar. He's up on the top of the leaderboard and just kind of fades after that. Players, really strong start, really horrible finish. Cognizant, boom, 5.5 in round 1, then fades. I mean, he's picked up. Look at that. Look at these first round. Okay, maybe we just bet Sami Valimaki to be the first round leader. He has put together. Look at this. Well, that one was bad, but he has put together some really, really good starts to tour. Let's do something freaky. Holy Grail. Since the start of 2025, we're going to say January 1st of 2025. Everybody in this field, strokes gained for rounds 1 and 2. We're going to sort by best players. Dang. I was really trying to cherry pick something for Sami Valimaki here. Okay, he's a 1.1. So that puts him, I mean, that still puts him pretty darn good. That puts him at in between Thomas Dietrich and Hayden Springer, better than Harry Hall and Aaron Rye. I mean, it's not bad. What if I just do, I'm going to really try to cherry pick this. What if I do, so this is first and second rounds. I wonder if I just do first rounds. If I get rid of Phoenix, it gets even better. What if I just do first rounds? He goes, yeah, there you go. Since January 1st, in the 7 first rounds that Sami Valimaki has played, he's gained 2.6 strokes per round, which is right below Scotty Scheffler. Pearson Cootie's been the best, 3.5 strokes gained per round. That's unbelievable. Wow. Yeah, maybe just first round leader. Hey, Rick, segment 2 Splash is only 4 events. Had a great finish last week. What is the killer instinct attack? Oh, boy. I mean, if you really are just abandoning this, everything for this one and done, and you're going to play a live guy at the Masters, you know the answer, Mike. The answer is you're playing Scotty or Rory this week. Why? Oh, Armina said don't help him because she's in 16th in the segment. I mean, this goes for you too, though. So if you just go with Roy or Scotty, and then for next week at Valero, you play. Well, I don't know who's in the field yet, but I guess you could play Corey Connors or Akshay or whoever the favorite is, and then you play whoever you're going to play at the Masters. People do love free content, yeah. So here's the way. Okay, so where's that poll? Let me circle back this. So here's what I think. I know, but I thought sometimes it came into StreamYard. So, the way that I envision it, and I don't know if this would work or not, but the way I envision it is if we were to do this podcast, it wouldn't be behind a paywall. You wouldn't have to pay for it, but it would be supported by people. Basically, if I say, okay, listen, I'll fund this for 6 months and give us 6 months to raise the money on Patreon or something, and then it can be self-sufficient. But where if we don't get enough, you pay if you want, you pay if it's valuable to you, but everything would be available. And maybe if you pay, you get extra stuff. But I don't like the idea of the whole thing being behind, or really any of it being behind a paywall. I think that's how podcast and content goes to die. So it would really just be supportive, and you'd get something in another way. So that's kind of the way that I envision it. But I don't know if that's even the work. Saw some articles that Phil Mickelson is playing well at Live. I mean, he had one good start, right? He might have 2. Here's an ad for rickrungood.com. Every one of 6 tours, including Live and the strokes gain metrics. So you can pull up Phil Mickelson's golfer profile. You can see his slick high flyers headshot, and you can see that he has finished 3rd in Hong Kong and 19th at Singapore. He's playing okay. I mean, 23rd, 3rd, 19th. I mean, the bar was very, very low. What is he doing better? Well, he's hitting it better from tee to green. He's picked up 11 strokes from tee to green. The putter's coming around. Is he getting juiced up for the Masters? Maybe he is. Top 30 feels. I mean, you're probably going to get a good number. Well, I guess there's only 90 players. You might get a good number on top 30 for Phil. He is 100% playing better, Mike. It was miserable. Look, it was very, very bad, but 100% better. Let's see what he's done at majors as of late. So here was the last year, 43rd, and he lost 3 strokes off the tee and 2.5 around the green. Yeah, maybe he will finish top 30 at the Masters. Yeah, maybe he will. There are really long par 4s at Memorial Park. I am not concerned about one missed cut, Mitchell, over the course of a 15 really good event stretch. Favorite course in OC can't include Pelican. Monarch. Monarch is great. Strawberry Farms. Yeah. The Ranch in Laguna Beach, little 9-hole course right across from the ocean, but tucked in a canyon. Very good. Armina plays there. When you play with John Daly, will it be on a YouTube channel? I freaking hope so. Okay, I was in on Ricky a bit last week. Was that last week? Or was that the Players? I can't remember. And it was fun. Oh, I guess it was the players. Yeah, got off to a good start, and then look, I mean, he was like top 10 after 2 rounds, and then he finished with some of the worst scores I've ever seen. I would probably go back to him. You can just put up huge numbers at the players very, very quickly with all the water that's out there. His record in Houston's very good. I still like some of the same things that I saw from him. I mean, the first 2 rounds he was awesome, and then he got sawgrassed. I think that's fine. I think Ricky is okay. Masters week plans: spend as much time as possible at Augusta National. Hang out with John Daly at the Hooters. There are a couple of parties for like agencies and stuff like that where you have to hobnob with people that I'll probably do on like Tuesday or Wednesday night. And then watch as much golf as possible. I'll be on CBS Sports Wednesday through Sunday. We'll have a schedule basically every couple hours. We will do live hits from the par 3 course. We have usually a set or stage set up over there. And that would be probably the plans. Watch golf, eat chicken sandwiches. I hold out from 90. I thought I'd hold out today, Mike. That's awesome. No, I don't. I never hold out. My longest holdout's like 60 yards. I never hold out. I can't remember the last time I've hold out from off the green. That's not true. I can't remember it. It was a long bunker shot. It was probably 40 or 50 yards. It was unbelievable. But I think my longest like 60 yards. Seriously, I like never hold out. There is a Fat Perez social media guy. Yeah, I know. That's why I thought I saw it. I think Wyndham's neck injury was a little exaggerated for somebody who was just really struggling. These are, I think I'm no, preferred lies are not confirmed. Yeah. Okay. So I was on Dan on Golf this week, which is the scratch show. So Kenny Kim came on after me. Yes. Like 10 years ago, I paid Kenny Kim $10 I hate saying $10 a week. That sounds like it was like really bad. $10 an hour. So I said, how much? I think we said, I'd have to go back and look at the emails. I said, how long is it going to take you to write a course preview every week? I think he said an hour. I said, okay, I'll give you $10 an hour or $10 a week. And he wrote for a website that used to be called DFSOnDemand.com and has obviously since been rebranded to RickRunGood.com. This was many, many moons ago. Kenny's a trip, man. Kenny's a good dude. I think I just saw him. Where did I last see him? President's Cup. But yes, so $10 a week sounds bad, but like, listen, nobody was getting paid to do anything back then. I was paying him $10 an hour. I thought that was pretty fair. It was in like 2014, maybe 2015. Note, I don't know when this comment was from, Justin, but I just refreshed the tournament predictor for the guys that are, what's it called? That just got in. So it should be good now. It should be updated now. It might take a couple minutes on your side, but if not, shoot me an email. All right. I think I'm about ready for lunch. Yes, we've talked about Dietrich already. And where was that? Derek's going to play at Strawberry Farms on Sunday. It's a good spot. Good spot. All right. The links that you need for everything are in the description. This ridiculously amazing John Daly, Rick Rungood round of golf in which you could win and get travel and all that stuff is it's in the description. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable stuff. Okay. I will talk to you guys soon. Goodbye. Sorry, we're back. We've never done that before. I just said to Armina, can you bring me back? She said, I can. I said, do it. That badge number. I forgot to mention what that badge number is. So for those of you who are very keen on rickrungood.com, you will notice that there is a up here in the URL. Every single golfer has a unique ID number, right? So golfer profiles /27890. is Sami Valimaki. So if you take that badge number that is on that Rick Run Good patron badge and you put the number 33916 into rickrungood.com, it brings you up to Bobby Jones. Okay. Bobby Jones profile page, and you can see all his Masters results and his strokes gained, believe it or not. It's in there. So I forgot. I didn't remember until I saw the end screen, and I quick yelled at Armina to bring me back, and she was able to accomplish it. Bobby Jones is, I mean, he's the greatest amateur of all time. The connection to the Masters, he's just synonymous with the Masters. Yeah, I mean, Patrick Rodgers is never going to win, right? Which guarantees he's going to win this week. It's just like he's going to finish T21. Everyone knows it. All right. Officially this time, maybe, I don't know. You might wait till the end now. Now I can come back at any time. Did you know I can come back from the end screen? You probably didn't even know I could do that. I can do it. And now you never know. Now you have to wait. Now you have to wait for the end every single time. All right, goodbye.